Hey, so if you're like me and you want to learn all about a new city, but sometimes you just want to know a little bit more about each section, well, this video is for you. Today, we are going to dig into looking at North St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm going to take you into the map and we are going to kind of look at exactly what the heck are we looking at when we are talking about North St. Petersburg. What does it look like on the map? What are the different areas? If you were to come to North St. Petersburg on your own or come to possibly look at buying property or even just visit, this is going to help you really get a good lay of the land so that when you come here, you have a better idea of where things are, how to get to them, and essentially just a plan, a better feel for the area. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick with me today because we are going to hop into my maps and I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's go. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about the St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay area, then make sure to subscribe. Now, if you want to know about the current market and be the first to get notified of any updates, make sure you click the bell notification so that you don't miss out on a thing. My name is Gina and my team and I have been helping people just like you move to the Tampa Bay area for the last 11 years, and we absolutely love it. Whether you're thinking about moving in 3 days, 3 months, or 3 years, we'd love to help you make a stress-free move to the area. All of our contact information is in the description below. Reach out anytime, whether you have a question, a comment, or you just want to know some more information about the area. We'd love to hear from you. Today, we are, like I mentioned, going to talk about the map of St. Pete North. Now you're like, okay, that's great, but why not talk about all of St. Pete? Well, like I mentioned, I think that we should split St. Petersburg, Florida into 4 parts. There's the downtown, there's north, there's south, and there is west. Now, why do I do that? Because like any city that's pretty big, there's so many intricacies to all the different areas. And to really get to know the areas, you have to sort of break them up. So if you are looking to move to St. Petersburg or somewhere within the St. Petersburg area, these videos in this series will give you a really good idea of the different sections of St. Petersburg. So if you want to know about anything other than North St. Pete, check out these videos over here. But for now, today we're going to talk about North St. Petersburg, Florida. So let's jump on in my computer and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so as you can see, we are in my computer right now. And what I want you to see from a faraway view is that this is Pinellas County here on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side of the screen. And you have Tampa up here on the right-hand side of the screen. And like I mentioned, this is pretty much St. Petersburg right in this area. So if I were to highlight that for you, it would look something like South St. Pete's down here. You have North St. Pete up here. You have West St. Pete over here. And that kind of encompasses St. Petersburg. For today, we are going to talk about this section right here, which is St. Pete North. All right. So let me zoom in here. Now, when I say St. Petersburg North, what I'm referring to is anything that is, here's downtown where it says St. Petersburg. You can assume that that's like downtown St. Pete. Now, locals usually call St. Petersburg, Florida, St. Pete. So in this video, if it's okay with you, I'm going to refer to St. Petersburg as St. Pete. So North St. Pete is technically anything above downtown. A lot of people will argue that it's above right here, the 375. So if you follow 275, the freeway, this is like one of the main freeways within the area, and you go all the way up, this is going to shoot across the water right here where my arrow is. That's where it starts to go across Tampa Bay over to the Tampa area. That's how you get to the airport and everything within Tampa. Now, the bottom, like I said, you can assume that this could be considered North St. Pete, but because I call this downtown, I'm going to tell you anything over the 375 and above. So 375 and above, which is the freeway right here, and the 275 and east. Okay, so anything along this line right here on the 275, and I know you can't really see it right there, but the 375, which is just like a very small piece of freeway that you take the 275 and it just leads you right into downtown. So anything above that to the east until you get to the water. Obviously, this is going to loop around. We're looking at the land, not the water. And this is what you would consider North St. Pete. Okay, now within North St. Pete, there are multiple different areas. And if you've seen our St. Petersburg vlog video of some of the neighborhoods, you will get a good idea of what these neighborhoods look like. So I'm going to point a couple of them out to you right now. So I talked about the 275 freeway, right? Well, we also have this freeway and road. It's called the 92, or it's called 4th Street. So the 92 comes off of the 275 bridge up here where you can't really see it because of the map cut off. And you can take Gandy, which is another bridge that goes across the Tampa. That will turn into 4th Street as well. So we just call it 4th Street. We don't usually call it the 92, but you can call it whatever you want. On the map, I'm going to refer to it as 92 because you can see it, but just know that it's technically 4th Street. Now that will lead you right into downtown, and it's like one of the main roads to go anywhere from downtown to anywhere in North St. Pete. So if we start at downtown, which is down here, this section all in here is going to be your, what I would call historic old Northeast. It is to the east of 4th Street, and it is to the north of downtown. Here is where you're going to find homes like this. They're large, beautiful, historic. Many of them have been in the St. Petersburg area for a very, very long time. They have a very small community down there as far as the little sections of the street, only because it's not a huge area that has these types of homes, but it's very well known. It has you have the section here with, if I zoom in, you have this whole section right here, which is a park. And it's so beautiful. You can walk along the water. You have people fishing. You have people hanging in, laying in hammocks in the summer. You can have a picnic there. You can bike. This is like a little teeny mini beach where you can play sand volleyball. There's also a place to like work out. They have like actual workout sessions where people get together and do like weightlifting and HIIT workouts and things like that. They have that right down here. There's also the aquatic complex. So that's, you might be able to see it on the picture come up here, where you have the pool, you have tennis courts, you have all kinds of things like in that section right there that you can do as far as sports goes. You also have, if you go even closer, there's a park here where you can walk through and you can actually like look at the different types of trees, and they have little plaquettes that tell you the types of foliage that you're walking around. It's really just a cool park. It's very nice. I enjoy actually walking there all the time. Now, there's a lot of people that will run all the way along the waterfront here. So they'll run all along here. It, comes all the way into downtown. So you can go all the way across here. I mean, St. Petersburg is so walkable, especially near the downtown. So you're really going to always have a cool place to go, especially if you are considering living in the historic Northeast area, which is right here. So we're going from downtown north, like I said, 4th Street east, this is 4th Street. And then I'd say it ends about 22nd Avenue for a lot of the larger homes, but it definitely goes above that for many of the homes as well. Okay, now, anything in here, you'll find a lot of mixes between cobblestone streets, which are so cool. Not as cool if you have a low car, but they're still very quaint and beautiful, and it's really nice to walk around. This is where you're gonna find most of your larger homes. Okay, we're gonna go above to Snell Isle. Now, Snell Isle it does have a very big history. And if you're a history buff, I definitely say look up the history on Snell Isle. It is named after a gentleman. And some of the cool things just to know about Snell Isle is that it's essentially, this is what you would call Snell Isle, Weedon Isle. This is north, a little bit more of a historic homes, but not as much. It starts to get into more of a traditional style home, which you can see here. We drove around. And this is sort of remnant of what you'll find up in this area. Now, Snell Isle is a little bit different as far as you still have the very large homes. And when I'm saying like historic Old Northeast and Snell Isle, you're looking at homes that are probably anywhere from $650 all the way up to $5 million and more. So it just depends on where you want to live. Do you want a big, large property on the water, or do you want a quaint home within the pebblestone streets? So that's just one thing to think about when you're thinking Old Northeast or Snell Isle. Now, Snell Isle has a lot of different clubs that you can join there. They have basically a large golf course, and I will show you that here. There's also anywhere in here, it's just like really nice open roads to take walks and things like that. You have beautiful trees. You can tell it's a well-established neighborhood because of that. And it doesn't have a ton of traffic besides going along, like, for example, when you cross over the bridge right here. Oh, let me change it back for you so you can see this. When you go over the bridge right here I was saying you could run up Coffee Pot Boulevard. If you go over the bridge to Snell Isle, this street, this main street all through Snell Isle like this has a little bit more traffic. Only because that's kind of one of the ways to get from downtown up to North St. Pete. And there's a lot of like schools and things that are in more North St. Pete that a lot of people take that route to drive through. But for the most part, over here and over here on the left, you're not going to see a ton of traffic for the most part. It's really just people who live there or people who are, kind of just enjoying the scenery of the area, which typically isn't very much. So one good thing to know is if you do live in historic Old Northeast, which is down here, or Snell Isle, or kind of right over here, anything to the east of 4th Street, okay? Just remember that. So when you're thinking historic Old Northeast or Snell Isle, it's always east of 4th Street and north of downtown, okay? So that's where you're gonna find your larger homes, your more historic type homes, your quaint neighborhoods. And when I say historic homes, you're also going to actually find very modern homes. They're just going to be your large modern homes, like 2 million, 3 million, etc. A lot of what you will find in the St. Petersburg area, because the city is so old, there's not really any place that has new construction type home. So if you want a newer home or more modern home, your choice is really to purchase a property that's either the house has already been taken down and you just have land, or to purchase a house and then tear it down and build what you want. So you have a lot of different options if you can find the property that works best for you. Once you get like up in this area right here, you're going to be able to lower your price point a bit. So you're looking at maybe anything from the 400s to the 800s or something like that. So you'll find that as you go up from Snell Isle, up from historic Northeast, you're going to find price points that are a little bit lower, but it's still a really cute neighborhood. I don't think you can go wrong with anywhere in North St. Pete. So just remember that no matter what your budget is, we can find something that will work for you. All right, so now let's talk about Shore Acres. Now this is a section right northeast of Snell Isle. As you can tell, this is Snell Isle. We're northeast of Snell Isle. Shore Acres is really just kind of what it looks like. It's intertwined streets. A lot of it is on the water. This area, I will say, depending upon where you are and the home that you choose, this area is more prone to flooding. So you do have to be careful about that and pick and choose, or kind of know a little bit more about where you are. That is something that if you are interested in living in this area, which once again is a super amazingly cute area, and it's near everything. So I wouldn't be deterred by the flooding. I just would be prepared. So just make sure that if you're like, I love short acres, that's where I want to be, that you get some really good information, look at some flood maps, talk to an insurance broker just about what you're going to be expecting if you're looking at purchasing a home in that area. And like always, we're always here to answer those questions and to help you out. So if you do have a specific question about that, you can leave it in the comments below or reach out to us at any time. We're happy to help. Okay, so now we are going to talk about over here on the left of that. So you have Snell Isle, which is down here. You have Historic Northeast, which is below Snell Isle. You have Short Acres, which is northeast above Snell Isle. And then you have this section sort of here in the middle. You can call it Northeast Park, Edgewater. Mainly, this is just really residential. You're looking at just standard homes. Some of it is going to be apartments. You have a couple apartment complexes intertwined throughout there. So now we looked at everything east and sort of south. So east of 4th, north of downtown. And if we do a little bit more north up here, this area gets slightly interesting. So for example, all this in this section over here is residential. Super cute homes, great neighborhoods. Most of the neighborhoods in this area don't have sidewalks. Actually, you'll find that a lot with St. Petersburg. A lot of the streets are just open streets. There's not sidewalks to walk down them, but they've been there a while. They're mature neighborhoods, and everyone seems to take pretty good care of them. Now, in this section right over here is Weedon Island Preserve. Here you can go out and you can basically hike. There is a tower that you can walk up or hike up to the top and see the view of the whole Bay Area. So it's pretty cool. But you can bird watch out there. You know, they have wildlife, things that you can do out there. It's pretty fun little place to go if you just want to explore, or if you want to take morning run or walk or something like that. It's a really nice, peaceful area. All along here on Gandy Boulevard, you're going to have, obviously, if you go east, you're going to head over to Tampa. But if you stick to this west side of Gandy Boulevard, that's where you're going to find a small beach area where you can drive right off the road and park your car and kind of wade in the Tampa Bay waters over there. You have restaurants. There's some high-rise apartment buildings over there. There's a couple small, a small gym, like Anytime Fitness. Just a couple little things right here. Not a ton of stuff. You're gonna look more for your shopping, your grocery shopping, things like that is going to be on the west side of 4th Street. You're going to have Publix and places like that. You also have shopping and things spread out all along 4th Street right here. 4th Street is really think of it 3 lanes on each side. I think the speed limit's around 40 miles an hour. And on each side of the street, there's something. There's either restaurants, there's car washes, there's gas stations, there's fast food, there's juice shops, there's nice restaurants like Italian and New American, Mexican, all the restaurants that you would want, and bars, massage, haircuts, anything that you want is up and down 4th Street. So no matter where you live in the North St. Pete area, you are always going to be able to access anything along here. So it's all you literally have to think is, okay, I just have to drive to 4th Street or I have to drive downtown. And you have everything at your fingertips. So that's one of the really cool things I love about North St. Pete. It's near everything. Plus, if say you travel a lot, I'm gonna zoom out here. If you travel a lot, North St. Pete is actually one of the main areas that a lot of people will live in to have close access to the airport, because the airport is right here, the Tampa airport. Okay, so from North St. Pete, that's only about a 10-15 minutes drive over the 275, or same, about a 15-minute drive over Gandy and then up through South Tampa. Now there is another airport right here It's the Pinellas County Airport, and there's select airlines that go out of that airport. But if you're going to like New York or somewhere north, a lot of times you can find really great prices out of the St. Petersburg Airport. So just know that this is the Tampa Airport, this is the St. Pete Airport, and regardless of what airport you go, this is a great location because you are close to all of that. Plus, you're close to Tampa. You're close to all of the bridges that are going to take you to the different areas that you want to go. Plus, if I clear this, you're also close to the Sunshine Bridge that's going to take you down to Sarasota. Not as close as South St. Pete, but because it's very close to get on the 275 right here, and the 275 essentially just goes all the way down. It's just very accessible. So a little story is I used to live in Clearwater for a long time, and I moved down to St. Petersburg just because I totally loved the city and it was just somewhere that I wanted to be. But when we moved to St. Pete, we realized how accessible everything was. When we were in Clearwater, yes, we had a lot of things at our fingertips, but we didn't have the access to Tampa as easily as when we were in Clearwater. We didn't have the access to 275 to get us down to Sarasota as easy as when we were in St. Petersburg. Literally, it is, unless you're going to the beach every single day, it's a great spot to live for anything and everything that you want to do and get to in a pretty good and reasonable time. Now, I promise to tell you about the other side of St. Pete. Now, this side of St. Petersburg, all of this. The story on this is what I would say is a very quickly and slowly, I know that doesn't really make sense, but growing community. And what I mean by that is for a lot of years, when St. Petersburg was rebranding, rebuilding, regrowing, this area wasn't as quick to grow as everything east of 4th Street. So here you'll see that a lot of the neighborhoods are still turning. You have a lot of older homes now. A lot of them have been torn down, and you are starting to see newer homes come up. You're starting to see new things in the community. I know that there's a huge pickleball area that's coming down here, like a pickleball center, and there's gonna be like a ton of courts for that. You have a lot of areas within here that are rebuilding, tearing down, rebuilding new modern homes. Mainly everything you're gonna find up and down here is residential. It's residential neighborhoods of all different kinds. In certain areas, you have, once again, a couple spots where there's just huge, beautiful homes with these massive trees that are just gorgeous. And then you have very open sky, smaller, traditional style Florida homes. And you'll see that kind of all along up and down 4th Street. So this area is still in that turning phase. It's getting there. I would say that it's definitely still a nice place to live, and it has possibly more potential to grow into something that everybody wants to make it be. For the most part, anything like south, closer to downtown, is going to be a little easier to walk to the downtown or walk to things that you need. When you get a little bit north here, it's a little more spread out, so it's not bad to have a vehicle. Now, anything up on north, so if I say like north, anything above the Gandy Bridge here to the east of 275, which is this, you have this section right here. And what you will find here, for example, in this big section right here where I'm making the X, this is a lot of businesses. So you have large corporations, you'll see you have a lot of businesses there. You have some restaurants, you have like Publix, you have things like that. You'll find that all up and down this area right here. In this back area here, you see a lot of apartment complexes and condos. Same with over here, it's condos and apartment complexes. And then it's just open land. It's just mangroves, essentially. It's not really walkable. There is a way that you can walk along 4th Street up and down this way, but for the most part, it's not hugely walkable like you would get if you lived further south. So that's North St. Pete in a nutshell. I hope that this was helpful. If you want to know more about South St. Pete or West St. Pete or downtown St. Pete, check out our other videos like I mentioned. So as always, I will see you next time.